Okay, hello again, everybody. So very quickly, as we finish up talking about research for today, I want to show you how Wikipedia can actually be useful whenever you're writing a research essay. So you've probably heard that Wikipedia is not a great source, and that is mostly predicated on the fact that anybody can go in and make an account on Wikipedia and edit a page. I think it was whenever I was like in middle school or high school. I can't remember what page it was on. It was a very serious page, and every other word somebody changed it to pancakes. So you can see sometimes people do inexplicable things on Wikipedia pages. Sometimes they're hilarious. Sometimes they're more insidious than that. They're actually meant to give you false information. So Wikipedia is not actually a source that you should use or cite whenever you're writing a research paper. However, it can be useful at the very beginning of the research process in order to help you figure out search terms, get a general idea of what your topic is about, and help you find sources. So I'm going to keep going with the topic that we've been talking about. So I'm going to look up hydraulic. Okay, there you go. Hydraulic fracturing. And Wikipedia has articles on pretty much anything under the sun you can imagine. Sometimes it has articles on things that are very questionable. But anyway, you guys have probably all used Wikipedia at some point, so you know this opening part right here before you get to the contents is just kind of a big general overview of what the topic is. If you want to write about a topic that you really don't know a whole lot about, and you're like, I have no idea where to begin to even researching, I don't even know what search terms to look for in order to like get research through the databases, then going to Wikipedia and actually reading this overview is going to be helpful for you because it's probably going to note some of the bigger search terms that you want to look for, like right here, natural gas. You could say, oh, okay, then I could look up hydraulic fracturing and natural gas, or hydraulic fracturing or natural gas. And that will help you kind of develop your search terms. It'll also just give you some basic background information so that whenever you go and you read a more scholarly article through the databases, you're coming in with a baseline of information instead of going into it totally blind. So in that way, Wikipedia is useful. You don't want to use any of the information that's actually here, but you can use it to just help yourself get started. Okay, and then if we go down, you may have noticed, so let's just stop right here. A lot of times there will be these little numbers after things or after specific sentences throughout a Wikipedia page. This is a long one. And what those are actually pointing you toward is what's at the bottom of a Wikipedia page that most people never even look at. And those are the references, which are incredibly useful. So you can see the different sources that writers of this page actually linked to legitimize the information that they were using on the page. And so a lot of these are actually really reputable, incredible sources. So let's go right here to number 2. The author's name is here, and it's called Hydraulic Fracturing 101. This is a PDF from the Society of Petroleum Engineers via Kansas Geological Survey. This sounds like it could potentially be useful, and it's linked, so you can click on it, and look at that. You potentially have another source. This sucker even comes with an abstract, which is fantastic. This document looks really, really long, but it may be 100% useful whenever you are writing your essay. So a lot of times things to credible sources are linked on Wikipedia, or if it's not linked, what you can do is you can copy the name of it, and then you can go and put that into the databases through the Gutenberg library and see if the source will actually come up for you. And you can check it out that way too. It's a great way to actually gather resources. Yeah, and you can see there's a ton here. That's a lot to look through, but if you're having trouble finding sources or you need somewhere to start, this is another great way to actually start researching. And this is going to be true for pretty much any Wikipedia page that you go on. Let's look up maple syrup. I was thinking about having pancakes this morning, so I'm still thinking about syrup. Okay, so you could get kind of an overview of maple syrup. Here's something interesting. It was first made and used by the indigenous peoples of North America. You know, it's Wikipedia, so we would have to question that, but maybe we could find a more credible source that actually backs that up, and that would be really cool and interesting. You can also just easily click on references right here. And yeah, see, even a page on maple syrup. Look at this. All of these references that you can go and use your source, use yourself as a source to help you actually write an essay, if you wanted to, I guess, about maple syrup, which sounds like a delicious essay. So yeah, you can see that Wikipedia can actually be really, really useful sometimes. Like this, look at number 9. Jesse A. Randall, maple syrup production, publication, blah, blah, blah. It's from the Iowa State University. That sounds credible. It's from a university, right? We would hope that universities are putting out credible information. And here we go. And it's kind of giving us an overview of stuff that we could look at. It's taken me to a potentially credible source. So Wikipedia gets a bad rap, and in some ways you shouldn't rely on it as a source whenever you're writing your papers. But again, there are aspects of it that can be really useful and really helpful. So whenever you have to write about a topic and you're like, I really don't know where to start, you've got 2 main things to do. Go to CQ Researcher, go to Wikipedia. Those 2 things are really going to help you, and they'll help you find and develop better sources too. All right, this was a quick one. That's all I have for you guys right now. I will see you next time.